Since David Cameron came into power, over 400 libraries have shut, and there are more proposed cuts to come. There is no legal requirement for a school to have a library. Think of those children who have no access to either school or public libraries. Where will they access knowledge? Where will they access a world of brilliant children's literature? When I was younger, I went to rhyme time and story time at our local library. This is an important part of early years speech development. I am one of up to 1,500 children at my local library to finish the summer reading challenge each year. It is proven that children's reading skills get worse over long summer holidays, and the summer reading challenge is a chance to increase a child's reading ability. Without libraries, there will be no summer reading challenge, and children's reading skills will be set back. What the government is doing is wrong, and we need to stand up for what's right.
Say a big welcome and solidarity to library workers that are on strike at the moment from Greenwich and Bromley. Alan did mention that Lambeth library workers were on strike yesterday. And as you can see, supporting the Barnet libraries who have been on strike for a hell of a long time, on and off, because they've been at the forefront of privatisation and savage cuts. I mean, Ed Vasey, what can you say, supporting National Libraries Day. I mean, if you think about it, it's a bit like UKIP supporting Black History Month. The guy's just got a nerve. I mean, what else can I say? But I'm going to start off by posing a question. And that question is the current situation facing public libraries a crisis or an opportunity? I suppose the answer depends on who you are. If your library has been closed, then it's a crisis. If you're isolated, vulnerable, elderly, and or disabled, and your mobile or housebound service has been cut, then it's a crisis. If you're a job seeker and there are no trained staff to help you log on to Universal Job Match and you risk being sanctioned, then it's a crisis. If you're poor with young kids and your local library now charges for baby bounds or under fives, then it's a crisis. If you're a young person who can no longer access the new staffless library, then it's a crisis. Because a lot of these new staffless libraries won't allow under 18s and under 16s in unaccompanied. If you're a library worker and your health is suffering due to short staffing and stress, then it's a crisis. And if you're a library worker and you've been made redundant, then it's a crisis. On the other hand, if you're Ed Vasey, the government, a transformation consultant, or a privatiser, then it's an opportunity. An opportunity to commercialise, an opportunity to privatise, an opportunity to attack local communities and the public services they rely on, an opportunity to attack the right to reading, knowledge, information, community empowerment and democratic involvement, an opportunity to undermine and erode the public library ethos. Naomi Klein, the American writer and activist, in a speech she gave to American and Canadian librarians in 2003, said that library workers uphold certain key values. And one of these is public space, as opposed to commercial or private space. Not private or commercial, but public. This value, this belief is crucial if libraries are to remain safe, trusted, inclusive, accountable, and democratic public spaces. Recently, the Society of Chief Librarians launched a partnership with Halifax Bank to put 2,000 of its digital champions in libraries. This is the same Halifax Bank that recently was involved in a major online data privacy breach. Perfect partners, really. While the UK Library Establishment invites banks into libraries, Alison McLean and the Library Freedom Project in the US are teaching library workers how to teach library users to be safe and private online. We on this side of the Atlantic seem to be going backwards. It doesn't help matters that the chair of the National Libraries Task Force is an outsourcer who has failed to bring users, frontline staff, campaigners, academics and unions on board. I wonder why. We need to be very clear that we don't want or need Halifax, Barclays, BT, Google or Amazon libraries. We don't want our public library space invaded by commercial interests. We don't want our libraries run by blacklisters. We don't want our libraries run by suspect social enterprises. We don't want our libraries run by mock mutuals or trusts you can't trust. We don't want our libraries run by a subsection of the community with a gun to their head. We want and we need local libraries funded and managed by councils and run by paid and trained staff in consultation with and for the benefit of all. This is not negotiable. We demand that the government cease its attack on public services, enforces the 1964 Act, acknowledge that libraries are important and crucial to people, and give libraries a long-term future. So later when you lobby your MPs, be sure to make it clear that it's not just the bricks and mortar of the library buildings and the skin and bone of the library workers that you're fighting for. It's also the heart and soul of the service, the ethos. Because without this, to ground us, we are cast adrift, sunk. I'll end with another quote from Naomi Klein. The best way to stay public is to be public, truly, defiantly, radically,